I'm Flor Cruz from Badass Mother Birther, and today I want to talk to you guys about how to correctly use the Minbie bottle along with other tips when bottle feeding your baby. Before you use your bottle, you need to sterilize your bottle and parts by either boiling them for 5 minutes or by using a baby bottle sanitizer or solution. So before you attach your teat to the collar of the bottle, what you need to do first is make sure that there are no tears, no rips on the teat, because if there is, you need to replace it, because you cannot use it, you need to throw it away. So this teat looks awesome. What you're going to do is you just want to give it a little stretch in all directions to make sure it's going to be doing its job. The next step is you're going to be adding the teat to the collar, which you're going to insert this way. You pull it up, and you're going to make sure that there are no leaks and there are no gaps in between the teat and the collar. You can defrost frozen breast milk by putting it in your fridge for around 12 hours and letting it slowly defrost. If you need to defrost it quicker than that, you can put it in a bowl of warm water. Do not put your breast milk on the stove. Do not put it in the microwave. You don't want to heat it at high temperatures. Once you have your breast milk defrosted or freshly pumped, what you are going to do is you are going to pour it slowly inside of the Minbie bottle. Now with breast milk, you aren't going to want to shake it. What can happen sometimes when you defrost it is there can be a layer of fat at the top, and that's totally normal. What you can do is kind of give it a little swirl. You do not want to shake breast milk. The Minbie bottles come with a silicone disc, which you can use to insert right here, just like that. And you use this if you want to actually mix your formula inside of the bottle this way so it doesn't leak before you mix it. Or you can use it to store your milk. You can use it when you are on the go and you don't want to actually prepare a bottle. You can make a bottle ahead of time, and this saves you from having a leakage in the bottle. Once you have that there, you're just going to screw it on just like that, and no leaks. So you can use this to, let's say if this was a formula, and I want to remind you to, when you are mixing formula, to make sure that you use high quality water when you are mixing formula for your baby. So if this were formula and you needed to make it and shake it, you just shake it, and it's ready to go. Okay, so now we are going to be putting the teat on the bottle. Before giving the bottle to your baby, you want to make sure that the milk is not too hot for your baby, and how you can check the temperature is by checking it on your wrist, just by putting a couple drops and making sure that it's not too hot for your baby. Some babies will take milk cold, so keep in mind that it's okay to give your baby a bottle of cold milk if that is what they like. Some babies will do it, some babies won't. If you want to try to get your baby to take cold milk, you can slowly start to make the bottle a little bit colder and colder, just gradually try to get the baby used to it. This is awesome. It can eliminate you having to warm up a bottle every time you feed your baby. So what you want to make sure that you are doing is that this part of the teat, the pointy part, is the part that's going to be going towards the top of the baby's mouth. You can also make sure that that's the right part by checking the air valve that is at the top of the teat. Now when you are giving this to your baby, you want to use this part of the teat to put it on top of the baby's lip and make sure that they open nice and wide before you place it in the baby's mouth. Once it is inside of the baby's mouth, you want to make sure that you are filling the whole nipple with milk. As the baby starts to drink the milk, you will have to tilt the bottle up higher and higher to make sure that the whole nipple is filled with milk. Once your baby is going, you can start to relax your arm. You don't need to sit your baby so upright anymore. Take this time to get comfy. Put pillows under your arms. This is also the time for you to bond with your baby. Talk to your baby, make eye contact, socialize your baby. Lots of people like to face their baby outwards when they're feeding their babies. I would like for you to take this time to really bond with your baby and socialize socialize. So definitely look at your baby and talk to your baby. This is your time to bond with your baby. The flat surface of the bottle should be up against the baby's palate. You should make sure that your baby has a nice deep latch. What you don't want to do is put it too far into your baby's mouth to where the baby's gagging, but you do want to make sure that the baby does have a good deep latch. If your baby's bottom lip is not flanged, or the top one, you can just gently make sure that the baby's lips are flanged. Again, the more comfortable and good latch the baby has at the bottle, the more comfortable the baby is going to be, and the more efficient this bottle feed is going to be for your baby. Support your little one's head by putting their head in the crook of your arm. Try to hold it at a 45-degree angle and align the baby's head and neck so your baby's not swallowing a whole bunch of air while they are feeding at the bottle. You can also make sure to rest your arms on some pillows and prop it underneath you, because you will be bottle feeding for at least 15 to 20 minutes. So this is a good time for you to also get comfortable with your baby. Halfway through the bottle feed, it's a good idea to also switch positions on the baby. Go from one side to the next. It's nice to give baby a fresh new perspective halfway through the feed so the baby doesn't get bored. You want to keep the baby engaged. To minimize a spit up, what you want to do as well is not jiggle or bounce the baby too much during a feed or after a feed. Another thing that you can do as well is to make sure that the baby's diaper and bottoms are not on too tight, so it's not putting too much pressure on the baby's belly. That will also minimize spit up. What you should also be doing as well is after every ounce or so is making sure that you are burping your baby. The perfect time to take that opportunity is when your baby takes a natural break, like a rest at the bottle. That's a perfect time to unlatch the baby, give them a burp. Look for obvious signs as to when your baby's full. This can mean that they are falling asleep, they are pushing the bottle out of their mouth, you see a lot of milk flowing out the sides of their mouths. This means that your baby is no longer interested in feeding, and we should respect that. So we don't really want to gauge it off of the amount of ounces that the baby's eating. We want to look for the cues that the baby is done eating. Okay, so we're here with Nicole and baby, and we're going to show you guys how to use the Minbie+Bottle. So what we're going to do first is we are going to make sure that the teat has no holes or anything in it, doesn't need to be replaced. We're going to place it inside of the collar and make sure that there's no gaps or any spaces in between where the bottle can leak. Before you feed, you want to make sure that you have a nice comfortable spot before you feed your baby. There we go. You want to sit your baby a little bit more upright towards the beginning of the feed. You want to make sure that the pointy part of the bottle, this part of the teat, is pointing upwards. You want to kind of tease the baby's upper lip first and make sure he opens for the bottle, which there he's starting to open. There he goes. So we want to make sure that the nipple is full of milk. And we also want to make sure that the latch is good. So that would mean that baby's lips are flanged. If the baby's lips are not flanged, you can just gently pull the baby's upper lip or bottom lip to make sure that the baby has a nice good latch onto the bottle. Baby's doing good so far. Babies are going to take natural breaks when they're bottle feeding. We just wait for the baby to resume sucking. This is also a good time for you and your baby to socially interact with each other, have lots of eye contact, talking, bonding, all of those things. This is a good time for your baby to learn. You do not really want to face your baby away from you. Again, this is a good time to socially interact with your baby. You don't want to have your baby's arms swaddled while you are bottle feeding them. You don't want to put them somewhere and prop them up with a bottle. This is a good time for you and baby to have bonding time. Usually around an ounce or two, this is a good time to let the baby burp. Wait for your baby's natural pause, take the baby off of the bottle, and you can burp your baby. Don't be alarmed if your baby actually doesn't burp. Your baby might not need to burp. So the air valve on top of this bottle is going to be moving air away from the milk. which the air valve is right on top. That's how you can also make sure that the teat is going in properly into the baby's mouth. You should also make sure that the teat has a pretty good deep latch with the baby. It should be at the palate of the baby's mouth. Now, if your baby's starting to gag, that means you have put the teat way too far into the baby's mouth. The way you can tell your baby is having way too much flow or milk is if you see milk dribbling down the side of the baby's mouth, or if you see the baby's hands are actually grasped out, or their eyes are really wide. And what you can see right now is baby Jackson is super relaxed, he's comfortable, he's not having too much flow, he's actually starting to doze off a little bit at the bottle, he's taking his natural breaks. So now what mommy can also do as well is she can start to get comfortable herself. So what you can do as well is when you're getting comfortable is use pillows to prop your arms, because we want you to be comfortable as well, because this can take 15 to 20 minutes. So we want you guys to be comfortable. Okay, so baby Jackson's taking his natural break. So what we're gonna do right now is we are going to burp him. And once we are done burping him, what we're going to do is switch sides. When you are bottle feeding, you always want to give your baby a fresh perspective. So once he's done burping, we're gonna switch sides. You can gently rub his back, give him a few pats. Again, if he doesn't burp, it's totally normal. Now we're switching sides. He opened nice and wide. Letting him latch properly, making sure that his latch is good. Getting mommy comfortable again. There we go. You are also going to want to hold the bottle steady while you are feeding. You don't want to jiggle it, you don't want to jiggle the baby, you don't want to do anything to the baby that could cause the baby to spit up or not feel so well. The collar of the bottle should also be leaning more towards the baby's nose and not towards their chin. As the milk starts flowing more and more, you will have to gradually bring the bottle a little bit higher and higher to make sure that the milk is completely filling the nipple. Try not to measure how full your baby is based on the amount of ounces that you're giving your baby. What you can do is start looking for cues as to when your baby's full. So the obvious signs would be falling asleep, turning their head, or they start to spit out the nipple, start to spit out the food. You'll kind of feel the baby thrush the teat forward. You want to be respectful that the baby's trying to tell you that they're full. They don't want any more milk. So at this point, the feeding's over, the feeding's done. If your baby doesn't finish the bottle of freshly pumped or refrigerated milk, you can offer it to the baby again within 2 hours. If your baby doesn't finish a bottle of formula, you need to discard it right away. When you are bottle feeding your baby, do not put your baby down and prop the bottle on a pillow. Your baby needs to be supervised at all times. Also, please do not swaddle your baby while you are bottle feeding. Try not to use bottle brushes on the teat because it will damage the Minbie teats. What you can do is place the bottles in parts after you have used them in warm soapy water, rinse them well, and sterilize them again. Do not store the teats in direct sunlight, and please do not leave the teats in disinfectant solution for long periods of time because this can weaken and ruin your teat as well. For hygiene purposes, you need to make sure that you are replacing the teats around every 3 months or so, or sooner than that if you see any rips or tears in the teats. Minbie bottles come with instructions on how to use them, how to prevent leaks, how to clean them, how to store them. I highly recommend this bottle whether you are breastfeeding, whether you are formula feeding. This is all around a great bottle for babies in general. They love them, it keeps them happy, it reduces a lot of the air. You can order the Minbie bottle at Minbie.com. Make sure to visit them to learn about the bottle and everything that this bottle is capable of doing. I highly recommend the Minbie bottle to anyone. You can also visit Minbie on Instagram. Their username is @Minbie. You can also visit their Facebook at facebook.com/MinbieInstinctive. Bottle feeding can be a great experience for you and your baby. Thank you everyone for watching, and thank you Minbie for the awesome products and for the opportunity to talk to lots of parents